Okay, the there's a mitzvah on the Kohen that if he comes upon a tzibur, 10 men, he has an obligation to bless them, which is the Birchas Kohanim, 3 blessings. The Gemara tells us that what would be within the context of blessing them, he chooses to add a 4th blessing. He's in violation of Bal Tosif. He's adding to the Torah. The Gemara tells us we have 4 compartments in Tefillin Sharosh. Person fashions a pair of tefillin which it has 5 compartments. Of course, the tefillin are not valid, but one's a violation of Bal Tosif. You're altering the mitzvah by adding to the mitzvah itself. So Birchos Kohanim is 3 brachos, 3 blessings. So if you add a 4th, the Kohen is in violation of Bal Tosif. He's adding to the mitzvah of the Torah. And if he says only 2 blessings, rather than 3, he's in violation, negative command, Bal Tigra. It's like having 3 compartments in the tefillah rather than 4. What are the 3 brachos that the Kohen says? V'recha Hashem v'yishmerecha. Hashem should bless you and watch over you. What exactly is this bracha? So Rashi explains, V'recha she'yisborchu nechosecha. Your physical, material possession should be blessed. This is blessing, monetary blessing. Your possessions should be blessed. V'yishmerecha. What's v'yishmerecha? Shlo yavo alecha shodidim litol mamoncha. That plunderers, thieves, should not come and take your money. Meaning you shouldn't be victimized by others. Now this is very interesting. Shanosi maton avdo. A person gives a gift to his slave. Once you gift it and the person takes possession, it's out of your control. You can't protect it. That it should remain with the slave that you gave it to. Or here it's with the subject. If thieves come, bandits come, and they take what the person received, regardless of how valuable that gift was, what benefit does he have? He has no benefit. Aval Kodesh Baruch Hu had no say in Hashomer. But when Hashem gifts something to a person, if he doesn't want the person to lose it, he will guarantee and make sure it remains with that person. So that's the bracha. Yivarecha Hashem v'yishmerecha. Hashem should bless your possessions. You should succeed monetarily, materially speaking. The yishmerecha and the gift that he endows you with, it should be protected, that you should be able to have benefit from that gift. There's a famous question which is asked, at the most honorable honor at a bris is the sandok. The person who holds the child on his lap when the moel circumcises the child. And it's cited that if a person receives the sandakos, that honor once, he should not receive it twice. You should give it to another person. Why? It's based on one of the Bali Tosos who says that the sandakos is like the Ketores in the Beis Hamikdash. The Mishnah tells us that the Kohen who would be involved in the Ketores, they would have like lottery, which Kohen would do the service of the Ketores. And when they draw that lot, that Kohen had it for that day, next time they would draw lots again, that Kohen was no longer included in that lottery. Why? And they would say, Chadoshim Labkorim. The new ones, the ones who were not included previously in this selection, only they. Why? Because the Ketores brings wealth, and since that Kohen who already had it, he already had the opportunity to have wealth, you have to give somebody else the chance to have wealth. So therefore, the Kohen who previously who drew the lot and he merited to have the Ketores was not included again. So the Bali Tosos is of the opinion that the sandakos, holding the child at the bris, is the equivalent of Ketores, and therefore it causes one to become wealthy. So there are a number of questions. There's a famous Noda B'Yehuda. Noda B'Yehuda asks, he says, firstly, have you ever seen usually give the Sandakos to the Rov. Have you ever seen the rabbi becoming wealthy? That's firstly. Secondly, we find that the Rov, the rabbi of the community, he receives it more than once. So seemingly, it's difficult. First, we don't see it actually happening. Secondly, the Rov receives it multiple times. Those are the two questions the Notah B'Yehuda asks. So the Chassam Sofer answers that, so this famous word from Rav Chaim Kanevsky explains that the wealth, we're not talking about material wealth, we're talking about spiritual wealth. That you're endowed continuously with opportunities to advance in your spirituality. We're not speaking material wealth. So there's no question, why doesn't the Rov become wealthy? That's not a question. But it enhances his spirituality. He has a greater capacity to advance spiritually speaking. But the question, what about the Rov receiving it multiple times? So Chassam Sofer answers both questions. First, the Rov. Why does he receive multiple times? The Mishnah tells us that the Kohen Gadol, the high priest, is able to take any honor he wants as many times as he wants. He doesn't go into the selection process. If he wants to do the Torah every day, if he wants to officiate every service, that's his priority. He has that right. He says the Mor D'Asra, what we call the rabbi, who's the equivalent of, it's his domain. He's the equivalent of the Kohen Gadol. Therefore, the Rav has the right to take it as often as he wants. That's the Sandakos. So that's not a question. He says, what about the wealth? And I'm speaking regarding this. He says, let's say a person is endowed with wealth, and he's in possession, and then Hashem causes it to be taken from him. What does it cause him? Causes him pain. What we call agmas nefesh. You have aggravation, you're pained by this. Here you believed you had something, and all of a sudden, it's stolen, you're victimized, and you lose it. Or you invest it, and it's a bad investment, and you lose it. So, would you prefer to be given it and lose it, and experience the pain, the physical, emotional, mental pain, or you prefer that you shouldn't get it? You shouldn't be given it. He says on the balance sheet, there's enough reason why, even if we have it, we should lose it. So rather than giving to us and taking it from us, it's a wash. Hashem says, I prefer not to give it to you, not to give you the aggravation and the pain. So therefore, factually, it does engender wealth and material bracha. But simultaneously, we have so much debt, so the debt wipes out the incoming material blessing. That's the reason why we don't see it manifesting itself in material blessing. That's the Chassam Sofer. Yivrecha Hashem v'yishmerecha. The Kohen gives the bracha to the tzibur. Hashem should bless your possessions, bless your material. V'yishmerecha. He should watch over it. Meaning, he says, a mortal gifts something to another person as much as he gifts it, but he can't protect it, that the person shouldn't lose it, whether it's investment or somebody could come and steal it from him and he could be victimized. The bracha yishmerecha is because Hashem, when he gives the gift, he's able to guarantee and preserve that recipient, that gift remains with the person, that he should be able to have benefit from it. That's the bracha v'yishmerecha. That's the way Rashi, and that's Chazal. Rashi citing the Midrash. The Sforno says something phenomenal. How many people do we know that when they were of medium income, they were at their position, their attitude, or their perception of themselves at one level, and once they become wealthy, it changes their life. They believe they become other kinds of people. They feel they have a greater understanding, or they socialize with another segment of society. People change due to success, and they're no longer as humble as they were before they had the success. And success basically impacts on most people, not for the positive, for the negative. Even if you may do more good things, but factually, the person is impacted, and usually the area that he's impacted most, he's no longer as humble as he was before. It's out of the ordinary. A person becomes significantly wealthy, that his humility hasn't been hurt a little bit. He becomes a little inflated. So he says, Hashem should bless you with the material, and he should protect you, that it should not affect you negatively at any level. Not that it should be taken from you. It should not affect you. Yishmerech means you should be able to be maintained as you were before, that it should not infringe on your spirituality to any degree that you remain the same person as you were before. That's Vishmerecha. Because very often, as Shlomo says, the rich man has his challenges and the poor man has his challenges. The rich man says, he believes that he attributes part of the success, or maybe the whole success, to himself. And as it leads to not to good things. The Yishmerecha, it should not impact on you to any degree whatsoever. There's a story, I heard this, Moshe Reichman was an exceptional person. He was, in his right, even though he wasn't a Rosh Hashiva, but what he did for Torah, when they had this exceptional level of wealth, and his covenant Torah, the way he treated Talmidei Chacham, he himself was a great Talmud Chacham, because before he became a businessman, he was involved, he was in Tangiers, he was in Morocco doing outreach, he was doing many good things, even before. He went to England, he went to Tangiers, he was in England during the war, and afterwards it was known, there was nobody who received, if he had a yeshiva or a kollel, less than $18,000. That's the way it was. And towards the end of his life, he wasn't well. And Rabbi Osband from Riverdale, Rosh Riverdale Yeshiva, he had an appointment to see him, to help the yeshiva, and he wasn't well. And in the morning, for him to put himself together, just to get dressed, it could take him a good hour. To put on his regular attire, the clothing he would normally wear. And very often he wasn't well, he didn't get dressed. Rabbi Osband comes to the house, and he's in his home, waiting in one of the rooms, and he's waiting for an extended period of time. And he doesn't understand why it's taking so long. He knows he's awake. He's awake. It also was known, Paul Reich Moshe always took the phone himself. When you would call, he'd pick up the phone himself. You didn't have to go through a secretary when he would call us home. Somebody else would answer 1 minute, and then he would ask who it is. He would take the phone himself. So afterwards he realized Moshe Reichman felt it wasn't appropriate for him to come out with a robe to see Rabbi Osband. So he wanted to dress formally, get dressed, put on a suit, his shirt, his tie, and only then did he come out to meet Rabbi Osband. Because he felt it was inappropriate, it wasn't proper respect, Kavod Torah, for him to come out in a bathrobe, even though he wasn't well. Bathrobe and slippers. This is Yishmerecha, you know what that is? A man who has that kind of wealth, not to be affected with to have that appreciation for the Talmud Chacham, despite how much money you have, doesn't make a difference. To have that level of humility shouldn't affect you. Or many endless stories about him, display of his humility and the way he revered and honored Talmidei Chachamim was something out of the ordinary.